Today on the 24-Hour Network Radio, Eric Martin sitting with James Farr, Chief Creative Officer at Tunnel Vision. James, it's a pleasure having you on the show, brother.
Hey, what's going on with you? Dad, how you doing?
Oh, man, it's great. It's great. Hey, now, James, we're actually going to be doing a major interview today with Shonda Dilliehunt. She actually got the new book out, A Cold Piece. Let everybody know not only how you guys came to getting this book to come to fruition, but a little bit about, the tunnel vision and what it all represents and stands for.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Tunnel Vision is a branding and a content generating agency. So whether it's film, music, publishing, photography, art, we're involved in, basically all things creative, and we create those things so we can take them to the marketplace and let the market decide, if they like it or not. I met Shonda. Well, I've known Shonda. I mean, who don't know Shonda? And from home in Richmond. But I met Shonda while working on a project with Brother Alamo Brown and his book, If My Eyes Could Wine. And Shonda was working with some other young ladies on some projects, and I just kind of watched how they moved. And Shonda eventually contacted me and asked me, would I be interested in working with her? And she sent me her manuscript, the first version of it. It took me a minute to get back to her because I was just blown away by what she had written. And we reconnected, and I told her, let's do it. And I asked her if she was ready. I told her it's going to be a ride, it's going to be a fun process, it's also going to be very painful. Telling your own truth can be both therapeutic, but if you're not strong enough, it can be very destructive. So we hope to accomplish through this that she's just telling her truth. It's her story. And she really wanted to inspire other people to, not write a book to sell a book, but to write a book so that they could leave a legacy and an understanding for generations to come.
Indeed. That's well said. And actually, we're going to try to actually get that and talk about that with Shonda throughout the interview so individuals can be able to get that clear understanding. So I'm most definitely going to try to get to that in the questions that we talk about. Well, hey, everybody that's listening in right now, don't go nowhere. More of the interview most definitely coming up right after a couple hot tracks and a couple commercial breaks. You feel me? This is the 24-Hour Network Radio, your main man E-Fees. This is Arthurs and Poets Nights. Don't go nowhere. Today on the 24-Hour Network Radio, Arthurs and Poets Nights, I'm going to be interviewing Shonda Dilliehunt, new author, I should say, of A Cold Piece. Shonda, it's a privilege to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Eric, so very much. I appreciate it. Richmond stand all the way up.
Most definitely. Now, cuz, tell us a little bit about, your background. Of course, you're a little bit older than me. For a lot of people that don't know, you did just mention Richmond because that is where we're from. And most definitely your book, A Cold Piece, is based on the city of Richmond. So for a lot of individuals that's listening in right now that may not know about our city because, of course, the world is listening in, everybody from around the world, tell them a little bit about our city, and especially, some of the different places, to be expect, that they gonna grasp in the book.
Well, I'm from the south side of Richmond, you know that, right? That's where we from. But Richmond is a little city in the Bay Area. It's right outside of Oakland, and it is, to us, everything, But at the same time, everybody across the world, from New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Vegas, LA, everybody talks about the Bay. And when you say you're from the Bay, it's like, you're from the Bay. And then when you say from Richmond, they're really like, oh, you from Richmond? Oh, okay, you solid, So, our city is it really stands for us being, solid type people. We ain't really for no shenanigans, no extra, BS. We're some real folks. So basically everything is real Richmond.
Indeed, that's it. R&R. You feel what I'm talking about? Real Richmond.
R&R.
Indeed. So tell us a little bit about, you know what I mean, because we just was on air before we just got back from the break with James Farr, you know, the publisher there at Tunnel Vision, and we asked him a couple questions about you. So we're going to ask you the same question, like, how did this connection come together for you and James Farr with Tunnel Vision to be able to put this, you know, book together, or you guys get this project actually pulled off?
Well, actually, what we did was, I had met James before, you know, and I know the Farr family, just like, you know, my family is, you know, we all are pretty reputable in that city, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My last name was Dilliehunt, so, you know, the towns, you know, all of us are pretty reputable people, you know. If you got a family in Richmond, it's at least 10 or more of you. So each person has probably done something. So I know James from Andre, from Chris, you know, they're the older ones, and from his sister. So, I saw James not long ago, like maybe last year, something like that, and I was producing a piece called Paper Dolls with some of my female friends from Richmond that I know are about getting money. So, I was producing the piece, and he was there with Rodney Alamo, and they were actually, you know, they were producing something for Alamo's commercial and Alamo's book, which is My Eyes Can Rewind. And I realized that James was, you know, it was the way he was moving. You know, I was like, okay, I need to probably connect with James for my book. But I had put the book on the back burner. I was really trying to do some producing stuff. So the book was, like I said, it was really on the back burner. But once I talked to James and I saw him and I saw Alamo doing his thing, I was just like, you know what, it's time for me to get back with this book. So that's what I done. I started getting back into the book and finishing it, completing it, and then I called Alamo and asked him, you know, who did he think that I could speak with? And he was like, James, that's who he recommended. So that's who I called, and, you know, from there, we made it happen.
Indeed, that's what it is, you know what I mean? It's all about, you know, who you know, you know what I mean? And then like you say, you know what I mean, everybody is kind of connected, and that's all it takes, you know what I mean, is to use your resources to be able to pull off what you did. And now, you know, you're a new author out here in today's world, so that's truly a blessing. So what actually, you know, made you want to actually tell the story that you actually telling in the book? You know, what made you really want to write the book?
Well, actually, the story is the first 21 years of my life, so it's like from 1969 to 1991. And in those first 21 years, there was just a lot of things that transpired with me and my family. My mother and father, they were a drug couple, you know, like a Bonnie and Clyde in Richmond in the 70s era. So it was a lot of things that, you know, I saw that happen as a young kid. And as I got older, even more things started to happen because, you know, I thought I had changed my life and I was going to have something different for myself instead of the very same thing that my mom and dad had. But instead, I ended up choosing some of the same things. I chose my dad in a different era, in the crack era. It wasn't weed and all that; it was crack, you know. So that's what I chose, and he was like a kingpin in that era, and that's what I decided to do, you know. And so the story unfolds with all the choices that I made as I got older, you know, from things that happened, and it just unfolds from there.
Indeed. Now, basically, in the book, you know, you name a lot of individuals, and you know, a lot of individuals in the social media world sent in some requests. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to be speaking on an individual about his real name? So, can you shed a little light on that?
Oh yeah, actually, I'm using a lot of everybody's name, like everybody's name that is a part of me. Yes, their name is being used, most definitely.
And tell the readers or the listeners to the 24-Hour Network Radio right now why you feel that you're actually using the individual's names as instead of, you know, using a different name.
Anonymous, different name.
Yeah.
Well, I chose to use everybody's name because of the fact that it's my story, and if I came across, you know, Eric, you're my little cousin, and if I came across your mom in Cindy Banner, and she said, Shonda, take your ass in the house, or whatever, I'm going to say her name. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
If me and Kevin did something, I'm gonna say it was Kevin and I. If it was my son's father's name is Sonny. They called me Sonny. So if he and I did something, he's a part of my story. He's a huge part of my story. So I can't leave him out. I can't change his name to something else. This story is true. This story is real life. Like, I couldn't make up half of this stuff. I wouldn't know how. So I kept it real. I kept it real to myself, and I kept it real to Richmond, and I kept it true to what it is.
Indeed, that's what's up. So, now that you then basically got this far and you actually telling your story and things like that, how does, your family and your kids feel about the book?
My sons are kind of like on some, I'm not going to read it type of stuff. And I think they're on that because of the fact that, I'm their mother, and I am talking about some things that, are pretty graphic sexually. So, they don't want to read that about their mom. But at the end of the day, my boys, like I said, 69 to 91. So my children were young, and they were there. So by them being there, they know everything pretty much. They were in the thick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they were young, so it's nothing really for them to be embarrassed about. I'm not telling their story again. Like I said, this is my story. So if they want to, not read it, if they choose not to read it, then, I respect that. But I can't see them not reading it because, it's a Richmond story, and they want to know about their dad. They want to know about their grandfather. So they know some of these stories, but they're not going to have it unless they read. They're not going to feel it, unless they read it.
Yeah.
And they're proud of me, so they're going to read it.
Yeah.
But the rest of my family, everybody is pretty excited. My mom is not really, that into, but, she is probably thinking that I'm telling her story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm telling mine.
We back on the show, 24-hour network radio, that is, Authors and Poets Nights with Shonda Dilliehunt. New author with a cold piece. Most definitely go to the website, www.acoldpiece.com, and order the book. You feel what I'm talking about? You most definitely can check out a lot of information. It's about a chapter there. It's a summary of the book. It's a lot of information. You most definitely can sign up and join the website. But we're talking with Shonda right here, folks. So most definitely we kind of get right back into the interview. And my next question to you, Shonda, is, now that the book is out, how do you actually feel? You know what I mean? About it. You know what I mean? How do you feel as a woman actually putting out a new book for individuals to actually read, something that you wrote, something that you went through, your life experiences that you sharing with other individuals? How do you feel about this?
Wow. I feel humble. It's a very humbling experience. I didn't even think that it was going to do what it's doing so far. Just, my own soil, my own people are really, representing and are very interested. And I really didn't think that, my story, I felt like it was a story that needed to be told, but I didn't think it was going to be so many people interested in it. But it's a humbling experience, and I'm proud of myself. I really am.
Indeed, that's what's up. My next question would be, is there anything that throughout the book that you've written that you would like to change? You know what I mean? Going back, you know what I mean? Now that it's actually, out there for individuals to be able to go grasp and read, is it something that you would like to add or take away from it?
What I wouldn't change anything about it, because it's my life and it's what happened. I don't regret anything. I don't wish to change anything as far as my life is concerned. But as far as the book is concerned, I would change. I would add my mom, more about my mom, because, there was a time in my life where I was going through heavy stuff, and she was going through heavy things too. But I didn't really express that in the book. So, I wish I would have. But other than that, it's done. So I'm not regretful at all about it.
Indeed. You talk a little bit about some hardships and things like that, trials and tribulations that you actually had to endure. Tell us a little bit about those, about some different evictions that you might have had throughout your life.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that were going on. You know, like I said, they were a drug couple. So by them even being bad, you know, just imagine us being asleep at, 6 in the morning before it's time to go to school. So if it's right before it's time to go to school, then just imagine 5 police officers coming in. You know what I mean? Like, with a battering ram and telling everybody to get out on the ground and, so, I mean, this stuff happens for real. Like, this stuff is not fiction. Like I said, it is so real to the point where it affected us. You know what I mean? It affected me and my brother. It affected us. It affected my mom. Still to this day, my dad, rest his soul, is gone, but he was affected. You know what I mean? So, it was a lot. After one raid and then another raid, we were evicted and we had to move from one housing project to another housing project. It was just a lot of stuff that was going on. But at the end of the day, like I said, I wouldn't change anything about it because at the time it was community, it was family, it was people that loved us. And if my mom and dad were going through it, fighting or whatever, it was always somewhere where we can go. I could go to Beverly Todd's house if I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could actually walk from Kennedy Manor and go to her house if I wanted. If I wanted to stay there and spend a night and eat, I could. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
It was all of that going on. I could go to Liddy or Keefer's house. I could go to Maud or Derek's house. It was just places where I could go and have a sanctuary, away from the madness that was going on. But again, that was my daddy, and he loved his daughter. So I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't change nothing. And the traumatic things are just that. It was the times, it was what was going on at that time, and unfortunately, it was just the hand that I was dealt.
Now, since you already is kind of speaking on your relationship with your father at the same time, how did it actually affect you as an adult? You know what I mean? Now with the way you actually, raise your kids, because we will be getting into that again as well. But how did that affect you?
Well, the way that it affected me as far as being an adult and raising my own kids. My son's father died. If everybody knows this part of the story before they even read the book, they know that both of my son's fathers died at 3 months apart. So my baby was a month old. My oldest one was 3 years old. So my dad was still here, and he played a major part in their life. So he, did everything for my boys as far as that a male figure can do. But other than that, I took care of my kids myself, and my dad had did so much for me to the point where I wanted to make sure that my kids wouldn't even think about not having a man in their life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, of course they know that, where my daddy is because of all these other functions and things that's going on, and there's other children's fathers that are around and theirs are not. You know what I'm saying? All they got to say mama. But I made sure that they wouldn't feel a major void. You know what I mean? Like, it's Alonzo Mourning, this is just something I'm just speaking on. Alonzo Mourning had this basketball thing in Miami every year. It was called the Mourning Foundation, or it was something like that. Mm-hmm. But I took my sons to that particular, event, and they were like 11 and 7. That's not the average thing that a Richmond kid does. Mm-hmm. But these are the things that I wanted my sons to know that that's out there. Yeah. Whatever it is that you want to do, we're going to make that happen. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. They play football. They play basketball. Once basketball was done, then they went swimming. They had swimming lessons. Right now to the day, I don't know how to swim. But these boys do. You understand? Yeah. I don't know karate, but my boys do. So I wanted to make sure that my children would be well-rounded. Even the fact that their fathers are gone is nothing that can take the place of their dad. Nothing. Mm-hmm. But I still want these boys to be around it. I wanted them to know that I loved them with everything in me, and they would still be okay. And it was a time in my life where I didn't feel like I would be able to do that. So with the grace of God, and I was able to do what I needed to do as a parent. So I hope I answered the question.
We right back on the 24-hour network radio. Arthurs and Poets Nights, right here. You feel what I'm talking about? Your main man, E. Fees, with Shonda Dilliehunt. Arthur, a new book. Right now, you could go get it. A Cold Peace. Now, Shonda, I didn't get to ask you why you actually chose the title of Cold Peace. Tell everybody why you chose that title.
Everybody says that. Like the couple of people that, the few interviews that I have been fortunate enough to have, that's one of their first questions. And it's actually a good question. But for whatever reason, I believe that it's obvious, because, like, growing up in these streets is cold. That's number one. Being a female, even colder. Dealing with men, you have to have a coldness to you. You know what I mean? You want to be warm, of course, but you still have to have a coldness to you. So I can always remember at 16, 17 years old, somebody saying, you a cold piece of work, or you a cold piece, man, you cold, stuff like that. So it resonated with me, like, this shit that we went through was not, excuse my language, this stuff that we went through is not for play, it's for real. And it was some cold things. Mm-hmm. So this life, this story is a cold piece. I'm a cold piece. Today, right today. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So not trying to, toot my own horn, but to let it be known, to just keep it all the way solid. That's what it is. That's why the title came, it fits so well. Even for our city, that title fits.
Indeed.
You cold. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, you ain't got to tell me. I already know. Yeah. But hey, that's really what it is. You know what I mean? The whole city. I'm gonna elaborate to the listeners a little bit exactly what she's speaking on, and I kind of speak on it a lot of times. You know what I mean, about Richmond, California. You could actually go Google it. It's just a small little city in the Bay Area. A lot of people may not know about it, but with this book actually getting out and getting started, it may even start a trend. How do you actually feel about that now that I'm finna get into that? Do you feel that this book that you publishing, because I truthfully feel that it's going to actually start a trend with other individuals wanting to write books and publish titles and things like that. How do you feel about that? What do you feel about that? And not just other individuals, because there's always other individuals writing books, but I mean other individuals within the city, people that may even be that spoke on in your title, you know what I mean, in your book, A Cold Peace, you know what I mean? How do you feel about that? What do you feel that you doing right now? Because I believe that you actually is setting a trend right now, that you paving a foundation for a lot of other individuals to get to write. Do you believe that what you're doing is doing that?
You think so, Coach?
I really do. I'm just being honest with you, you know what I mean? It's the truth, you know what I mean? Because once the individuals get to grasp what's inside your story and things like that, and then of course, as you know, with social media being the way it is, it's only easy for individuals to be able to come back and contact you and just ask what was the proper steps that you took to be able to pull off what you did, because of course they got a story that they want to tell too. And so just listening at you about what you're talking about and then reading what I've read thus far, it makes me feel that it's going to a lot of other individuals is going to open up, you know what I mean, and do that. And I believe that you, the individual that's paving a way for them to be able to see that it can be done. Because that's another thing. In the community, people don't believe that it can be done until they see others do it. You know what I'm saying? And so by you doing it,
I have to be the catalyst for that. Yeah. I have to be the catalyst for that, and I'm so proud of that. It's so many stories in this city that if only a person can understand that fear is the only thing that's stopping us from doing what it is that we really want to accomplish. You know what I mean? Like, we constantly chasing a dollar, we constantly doing all these things, but if we stop and just say, you know what, my life is this, and I can do this, then that happens. So if there's 7 people people that come out of here and write their story. I'm going to be happy. If it's one, I'm going to be happy. So I hope it's 70,000. But if it's, like I said, if it's 7, I'm still going to be happy. But I just want people to, I just really want my story to help the people to understand that get it out, tell it. You don't have to, it's not a snitching type of situation. It's nothing of that nature. It's just somebody being 100 and keeping it real to themselves and where they come from. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
That's what I needed to do, and I know it's so many other people that need to do that because it's going to make them feel so much better just to get it out and to let it be known. And to, I mean, if you think about it, because they have a show on television called The Game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the coldest chicks owns the show. Where's she from?
She from Richmond.
Where's she from?
She from Richmond.
So now, exactly. So if they done, okay, so they created a show based around a woman from Richmond on television constantly on BET. Before it was on BET, it was on Fox or CW or whatever. But my point is, this is a top-rated show.
Well, you got to understand the title of it, though.
Exactly. The Game. That's my
Indeed.
point.
Indeed.
That's my point. That's my point. So what would make us think that we can't do that?
Oh, yeah.
Is the creators, big shout out to them,
oh,
you
yeah.
know, they're from Richmond. So just imagine if the creators decided, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this together, but we're going to also put our own city on. We're going to tell a story about our own city. So now all people have to do is piggyback.
Indeed.
Boom.
There it is. So with that being said, tell us a little bit about who Shonda Dilliehunt is today. Because in the book you actually talked about the first 21 years of your life. So tell individuals who you are today.
Today I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm an author now, yes. And I'm a hairstylist. At the end of the book, that's what I talk about, redeeming myself and the grace and mercy. I went and was doing everything I could to change into somebody else. But there's still parts of my past that chases me right now today. But it's up to me to be strong enough and to recognize the God in me, keep going forward, to understand that I'm a woman, I'm a strong woman, and whatever I want to do, I can do. If it's, the best thing possible, write a book, write a script, write a play, I can do that. So right now the woman that I am is a work in progress because I'm not going to say I'm perfect. There's people that's listening right now that's saying, I'm proud, but at the end of the day, I made this happen for me. And now it's up to me to take this to the next level to do what it is that I have to do. So again, I'm going to say what I am today is a mother, a grandmother, and a work in progress.
So, how has your lifestyle actually changed the way you raised your kids?
Yeah. My lifestyle has changed tremendously because of the fact that, I've done some film. Like, after I got out of hair school, I went and he forwarded the book. So I'm saying that after, I'm getting all mixed up, but
you good? You can reset it.
After I finished the beauty school, I started doing films with E40's brother, who wrote a movie, and he guided me and was like, "Can you do hair and makeup for the film?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, And I had no idea what it was going to be about. I had no idea what to do. This was my first time ever being on a film set. But the tenacity and the hustle that I have from the streets made me know that movies are all about production, and the streets is all about production. So if you produce, you're going to make it happen. And so that's what I did. I produced. I made it happen. And I did everything I could to make it happen. And so with that, from that one film, before I knew it, I was on to another one. And then I was on to another one. Then I was on to another one. And then it was another one. So now I got IMDb credits that are crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I can actually get the people that I can actually contact about making a film. Like, I actually know some things about writing, directing, being a script supervisor. Like, things, I know these things that can take me to a whole another level. So that's what I decided to do as far as my life is concerned, you know. But now, don't get me wrong, I still have been part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So has your past life affected you now in your newfound life in any ways?
Yes, it has. My past life has affected me in a lot of ways because of the fact that, like I said, my past still chases me today. You know, things from the past, people from the past, men from the past, it still chases me to this day. But at the end of the day, it's up to me, to my tenacity, to decide, because life is all about choice, whether I go that way or I don't. You know what I mean? I just found myself in a situation not too long ago with some foolery that I had no business being a part of, you know what I mean? But yet here I am, a part of this foolery. And it really was just like, what are you doing, you know? But it happened. So I had to make better choices for myself. You get what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So my life is still, again, a work in progress because the past still comes up, but I just have to make the choices that are the best ones for me.
So, Shonda, tell us a little bit about how you actually got your connection with E40.
Well, actually, E40 forwarded the book because his wife and I are very good friends. We've been friends since the 10th grade. And my sons are like 18 days apart. And, you know, she's one of my best friends. Anytime there's something going on, I can call her and talk to her. And, you know, I don't have to worry about being judged or whatever. So 40 just so happened, Earl Stevens from Vallejo became E40. And he my brother, you know, so he actually has a song, Baby Gotta Hear Done by Shonda. So, you know, that was a plus that he done for me. So because I like I said, I've tried to put together a lot of things. And, you know, he always say, sis, well, when you're ready, just let me know, sis, when you're ready, you know, because he looking at me like, okay, you ain't ready. And I wasn't in the right mind space. But now, I'm ready. I'm focused.
Indeed. We back on the 24-hour network radio, your main man E Fees. You feel what I'm talking about? Hey, it's Authors and Poets Nights right now. Shonda Dilliehunt still in the building. A cold piece. Now, Shonda, we got a couple Facebook requests. They actually came in through Facebook, and they, had a couple questions with regard to your book, and not only just your book but your life. And we kind of want to answer some of those requests. So one of them is coming in asking. Stephanie said, "How did you pull yourself together after the loss of the two men in your life?" Speaking of your kids' fathers, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. How I pull myself together, Stephanie, is actually a good question, and thank you for asking. But it was difficult to pull myself together. At one point, I didn't think I was going to be able to pull myself together. At that time, to be truthful with you, Eric and Stephanie, I was suicidal and homicidal. And it talks about it in the book. Like I said, I don't want to give away a whole lot as far as the book is concerned, but, it was a dark time, for me. I was always kind of like looking at my friends like, her baby daddy don't do shit. Why wasn't it him? So at that time, I had a lot of anger going on. I had resentment, towards my friends who had their baby daddy. You know what I mean? Because I know that my two sons' fathers were good men. They were good not only to me, but they were good to their kids. They were good to other people in the community. You know what I mean? So it was super heavy for me. It was super heavy because it was just like, it was dark. It was just a dark time. I just really didn't think that I was going to be able to survive. I thought that I was going to die. You know, I thought, first of all, my heart felt like it was in itty bitty pieces. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So by my heart being broken like that, you know, I promise you, I didn't even think that I was gonna be able to raise no kids. I thought I was gonna have to give my kids away.
Mm.
But I thought I was gonna have to give my kids away. You know, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it.
Mm.
I thought I was gonna literally have to send my kids off because I was just that distraught. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm feeling like, okay, how can I do this? You know, how can I make it? It was a time where, and it's in the book, it was a time where I was about to kill myself, literally. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, I don't want to give away too much in the book. You have to pick it up. If you pick it up, you will not be disappointed at all because it's all there. You know, and I know young women now are going through that or have gone through it, and I want to reach them. You know, I want them to know that it's possible. You know what I mean? So
it's kind of interesting you said that. Not to cut you off, it's kind of interesting you said that, and you spoke of your kids, and you know what I mean. But another question actually came in, and the question was like, you know, throughout not being able to have, you know, your kids' fathers and your father in your life for some period of time, was you able to, you know, raise your two sons to be able to become so successful father figures as they are today? And can you answer that for the listeners?
I can. My dad was around. My dad just died in 2011, and you know that tore me up because he helped me a lot, especially with little Sonny. But as far as me being able to raise them and to beat them in, like I said, it basically came because of the fact that I wanted to make sure that they knew that it was a lot. This world was big. You can do whatever you want to do in it. You know, so like I said earlier, it was just a matter of choices that you make. You know, you can make the good ones or you can make the bad ones. It's up to you. And I wanted my kids to know that I didn't choose to give them up. I didn't choose to kill myself. I chose myself. I chose for myself to raise them myself and to lean on God. And with grace and mercy, I was able to do that.
Indeed. Another question come in from Erica, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Erica Cook. She talked about your shop. You know, we really didn't talk much about you doing hair in this interview, but of course, you talk a lot about it in the book. Tell Erica why you actually had quit doing hair for some period of time. That's her actual question. Why did you actually quit doing hair?
Well, I stopped doing hair for a little while, Erica. Thanks. And hi, Erica. But I stopped doing hair for a little while because of the fact that I was depressed. I got depressed once my kids got older and didn't need me anymore. You know what I mean? It's called MS syndrome. So, you know, it all goes back to my past. I had to go and, you know, figure out why I was so depressed and go see, you know, somebody to help me. So I needed bipolar medication, you know, just lots of different things was going on in my head, you know, and I was isolating myself. I wasn't being around people like I should have been, you know. So at that time, I just felt like doing hair was just too much, you know, because people, when you're doing hair, those people need your energy, you know. They need they need you to listen to them. Because being a hairstylist is just like being some kind of therapist. So at some point, you know, if you don't have it to give to them, if you don't have it for yourself, how can you give it to them? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to cheat the people. I wanted to give them the best of me that I could, and I wasn't at my best. So that's why I stopped.
That's man, amazing. How you actually put that. And so at this point in time, are you back doing hair?
Yeah, I am. I'm working now. Well, I'm employed at the Ronald Love Boutique in Las Vegas. I moved to Las Vegas and went out there and started doing hair. So when I'm at home in Vegas, yeah, I'm doing hair. But when I'm back in the Bay Area, I'm not.
Another anonymous question actually came in was, who actually inspired you in life?
Who inspired me? My mom inspired me a whole lot because she was strong. You know, my dad went to jail a lot. My dad, before I was 15, my dad was in jail maybe like 4 times. From Soledad to San Quentin to Folsom. You know, my dad was constantly in and out of prison. And my mom had to hold it down when he was gone. So it just showed me that my mom and dad both inspired me. It showed me that, you know, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be in that kind of relationship where a man and a woman completed each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That their love made it where they would be complete. And I haven't found it yet, but you know, I'm looking.
Now, that's what's up. Hey, you talk about your brother a lot in the book. For those just listening in, tell everybody a little bit about your relationship with your brother and how it has affected you over your life.
And the relationship that I have with my brother is serious. Is this a Facebook question? Or is this your question?
This is an anonymous Facebook question.
Oh, anonymous. Okay. The relationship that I have with my brother is very serious. So whoever the anonymous person is, they probably know it already. But he's my little brother, you know. And when my dad would be, you know, doing things that, like after say a big softball game with, you know, the Swahili team. That's what they would call the Swahili team. After a big game, we would probably go to say Auntie Deborah's house, Deborah Brown's team, and we would be there. And, you know, I'm a girl. I'm like maybe 12, maybe 11, whatever. But my brother is a baby under me. He's like maybe 6 or 7. And the Brothers teams, you know, we all know it's a lot of them. So if we at Auntie Deborah's house and it's all of them, and it's me and my brother, that's it. It's just me and my brother. So I got to hold my brother down regardless. If I got to fight Maurice or Lil Sam or Nuki or whoever, that's what it's going to be about my little brother. But for the most part, we all got along. But, you know, in those times, you know, the kids were in the back playing while the grown-ups were in the front, you know, playing dominoes or doing whatever it was that they were doing. But the kids, you know, we weren't really necessarily fending for ourselves, but at the same time, we were fending for ourselves, you know, because they were doing their thing. So they just wanted us to get along and do what it was that we were doing. And that's what we did. But that's what makes our relationship so strong, because I know my dad was very serious about both of us. So if he wasn't there, then I wanted to make sure that my brother was okay. My brother was taken care of. So still to this day, I'm very serious about my little brother. And he a grown man.
Indeed, that's what's up. We got another question here for you as well. And it's basically asking and a question from anonymous as well on Facebook. They said, as a mother now, what can you give, or matter of fact, let me re-ask this question. It says, as a mother now, what advice can you give someone younger than you today?
As a mother now, what advice can I give? I give advice to my grandchildren's mothers, that those babies are, you know, keep God first. That's not the one, but those babies are serious. You know, you got to make sure that your babies are your number one priority. Man is good, so hold him down, you know what I mean? But at the same time, make sure your babies are your first priority, because right now, we lost that. So, since we lost that, when the men come back to us and understand that they need us, we need them, and, you know, we come down for sure, you know. But until they get that right and get it together, is the next generation to be raising to be men. So, all I can say is do that. But mama, like, make sure that your kids is good. Make sure your kids is, you know, they start off from preschool so they can become socially aware and be able to, you know, get along with other kids and share and all these things. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not about Jordans and Jordans and Jordans and Jordans. You know? Just make sure that they know that, you know, just make sure that they're well-rounded. That's the advice that I can give. Make sure that you keep the baby first, God first, then your baby, and that they're well-rounded. If you can keep your kids well-rounded, I promise you, you're going to have a whole better generation of men.
Indeed, that's what's up. That's good advice for those that's out there listening. All you young females out there running around, y'all should really listen in to that. Yeah, I mean. Hey, everybody that's listening in right now, you can actually go to www.acodepeace.com, you feel me, to get more information on the book. Most definitely go hit up the website, you feel me. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere after a couple half tracks and a couple commercials. You feel what I'm talking about? It's the 24-hour network radio. My next question to you is this. Could you convey a positive message to the young listeners that's listening in right now? Can you convey any type of positive message to the youth that's listening in?
Yeah. The message that I have for the youth that are listening in is like this. First of all, we have to get back to, I need them to read the story so that they can understand what has happened to their parents, you know. Be it if their parent was a drug dealer and he ended up in jail, or if he ended up murdered on the street. I need them to have to understand the dynamics of the way that this stuff unfolded, the way that crack era unfolded. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, I need them to understand that the reason why things are going on the way that they're going on now is not because we don't love one another, but it's because nobody's standing up for generation. Like, for my generation, we need to stand up and just make sure that they know each other. Because like I just told you, my mom and dad were in the house playing dominoes at Deborah house. Like, this is at the Bernstein house. You understand what I'm saying? And there was other kids there too. Yeah. So they made sure that we all knew each other. So if somebody,
that's how we was raised.
Exactly, that's how we were raised. So if somebody from my generation stands up and lets the youth know that this is probably two people that separate us, but we kill it us. Mm-hmm. And that's not okay. So if I decide that I'm going to be the person to stand up, then somebody else might stand up, then two more people might stand up, then three more people, you know, and make sure that they know each other. So when they enter, like, they're like, oh, okay, what's up, brother? Mm-hmm. What's up? You know what I mean? Instead of, that's that nigga from, you know, because like I said, the economic times is what made a person have to move to the North Richmond Project and another one to the Town House Project. It doesn't mean that we moved into these different directions because we didn't want to get along or because we wasn't related in some way or friends in some way. It's just the time. That's where my Section 8 would take me, or that's what Housing Project called me first. But that don't mean that that's what defines you. This street don't define you. North Richmond don't define you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to just get so deep, but I just need them to understand that that's not it. You don't stop there.
Well, you know what? That's the real. I'm gonna be honest with you. The real reason for the interview is to get that deep, and you really needed to say and express just that because it's the truth. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it ain't nothing that you said that's not true, and it ain't nothing that you didn't just say right now that a lot of individuals that's listening in, especially from the city, don't feel within themselves. From your generation, my generation, and even some of the younger ones. You know what I mean? Who just subject to the situation because of what it is it has been for so long. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like you said, by you doing what you did, and like I even said to you earlier in the show, that what you doing, you laying down a foundation for other individuals to be able to follow in your footsteps in the light of hopefully that everything get back to where it once was, because it was good, like you said. Everybody used to be at everybody's house. That's right. It wasn't like that. Everybody used to be at the parks. We all grew up together, doing all type of different things together, and
having a good time.
Most definitely, that is true. And so, this really is, I think, is a big step in that, because as I explained to you, I've heard a lot of individuals mention that they want to write a book, but you got yours out, and you keeping it real, 100% about everything. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? That's just, it is what it is, and it ain't saying that you actually just keeping it real to where you actually snitching on anybody or anything about anything. It ain't none of that. It's just that you expressing, you know what I mean, your trials and walks of life. You know what I mean? Your trials and tribulations, and what you actually doing now is, you're giving back. So it's a blessing to be able to have you on the show. You know what I mean? Anytime. My next question is this, that we actually just spoke on that. What do you think it take for an African American to make it out the hood?
What I think it takes for African Americans to make it out the hood is focus, faith, and focus. You got faith in God and faith in yourself, and you can focus to make it out. You can do whatever you want to do. I promise you. I got friends now that say, man, I got me a ticket to Utah. I got on the bus. I got my ticket to Utah, and they got this trucking school, and she say, man, since I moved to Canada, I stayed out there for, you moved to Vegas and stayed out there for 2 years. So, it's what you want to do with your life. You don't have to be confined to what somebody else says or does because it happens to them. You know what I mean? After he got out of the penitentiary, he decided he wanted to do something else, and that's what he done. And nothing stopped him. Not the fact that he didn't have $15,000, not the fact that he didn't have a cell phone on him at that time. He just done it. And when he got scared, the necessities that he had the faith to know that God was going to provide. So that's all it is focus and faith.
Hey, that's amazing right there. I really want to elaborate on that, but this is your show today. So I'm gonna let you have that. But my next question is this, because that was really a good answer. You know what I mean?
Did, and that's what you did, right?
I'm still on parole right now. And that's really what I wanted to elaborate and say. I'm still on parole right now today. You know what I mean? I've been on parole for about 8 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You got your radio station.
And a lot of my book, you know what I mean? Several different companies I'm partnered with, a lot of different things. I done helped a lot of other people get in business and so on and so forth. So you right with what you said. You 100% right.
What did it take you, cuz? What did it take you for real?
All it really took me to want to do what I'm doing. And to want to do to really want to change, to really want to see difference, to be completely honest, it took me a couple seconds to get out the environment completely because I wouldn't have been able to do it without getting out the environment. I was trying to do it while I was in the environment, but I was so trapped with all the different things that was going on around me to where I couldn't really focus on what Eric Martin wanted to do. I was stuck on doing what Feezy was. You know what I mean, was wanting to do or whatever I had to do because of the situation that was going on, to where once I actually got myself out that environment, I was able to breathe fresh air and be able to say, okay, this is what I really always want to do. Let me start doing some of this. And then as I just kept doing that, you know what I mean?
You didn't have to look over your shoulders, not one time. None of that was going on. You wasn't looking over your shoulder. You weren't trying to, you wasn't like, oh, shit, this is good. And now, that's the niggas from old ass and suckers. You didn't have to do it at all.
Nah, no words.
I mean, and it's a beautiful feeling. To even know that you're going to raise your children where they don't got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just...
Well, now that you actually got into that part, you know what I mean, it's kind of amazing that you said that, because that's our goal and our focus coming from the environment is to be able to, everybody, it's not nobody that's listening in right now from the environment. It's not like, man, I can't wait to the opportunity that I could be able to leave and get mine away. You know what I mean? Sometimes the opportunity come, but then they don't want to leave other individuals and their family behind, and then they stay in that environment. And that happened to a lot of individuals. But for those few that do get to leave the environment, you know what I mean? Because right now, I'm not in the environment, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be in the environment. They subjected me to the environment, but I'm not going to be there. You feel what I'm talking about? You're not going to have me in that box, you feel me? But at the same time, like for my kids and a lot of other individual kids, and maybe even for you could even answer this. Once we go back home, or since we out here wherever we at, we talk about home so much, you know what I mean? And it's to where that's what they want to know. They so once they get to being around their loved ones and cousins and things like that, once they go back home and once they get to a certain age, they get to make their own decisions in life. And, you know what I mean? And that's just really what it is. So, you could elaborate on that a little bit. You know what I mean? You probably even talk about that in your book. Oh, you actually don't, not in your book, but just talk about it a little bit. Are you dealing with those type of issues right now?
Yeah. I mean, because when I left and went to Las Vegas, I mean, I moved out of the town a few times. I mean, I moved from Richmond in '85, I think it was, and went to high school. Completed high school in Vallejo. They talked about that in the book because Vallejo is a big part of the book also. It's a big part of my life. But, you know, that was a decision that my mom had to make, you know. And then from there, it still was getting, you know, to the point where Richmond pulled me back across the bridge. It was only a bridge away. So I moved from at that time to Los Angeles. I stayed there for 6 months. And, you know, I was always like, okay, I got to go check on my kids. I got to go spend my kids some money. I got to go do this. I got to do that. So I ended up back. And then, you know, when my kids got old enough, it was like, well, we want to go back. We, you know, all our friends in Richmond, all our partners in Richmond, you know, okay. But that's not where you have to be. You know, you can always go back, like if you were in college. Go back, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and get up out of here.
Indeed. Hey, you ain't said it no better than that. You know what I mean? That's real talk. You feel what I'm talking about? It's real talk. Hey, you said it right. You said it right. Ain't not nobody listening in just from the area don't not agree with what you just said. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, it's the 24-hour network radio. You know what I mean? Most definitely go get the book, A Cold Peace. You feel me? Go to www.acoldpeace.com. Shonda Dilliehunt. Published by Tunnel Vision. You feel what I'm talking about? Hey, Shonda, it's a privilege having you on the show. Is there anything else that you would like to share to the listeners at this time?
I would just like to share that, you know, I appreciate everybody that has been interested in the book. I love my town. Please don't ever get it twisted. But it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not for everybody. You can get caught up in certain ways, you know, and if you can get out and make something else happen with your life, do it. Just do it. Try it. And if it works, it works. If you have to come back for 3 months or whatever, keep your head clean, keep your head up, and do what you have to do and make it happen for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And don't never worry about what the next person think about you. Oh, this person came back. Oh, that nigga suck. Oh, that nigga think he such and such. He moved away from us. So what? I had to go. That's what I had to do for me. Now, what you have to do for you is whatever that is. And I commend you for what you have to do for you. I have to do this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people would understand that and stay in their lane and do what it is they need to do for them, it would be such a better world, a better place to live in, period. But it's mainly co-ground because I'm trying to really make a difference. And like I said, I just wanted to stand up, you know, for this next generation that's coming up, because they need to know that it's not their parents. It's something else that made these things happen. Everything that is happening or that did happen, it was from a cause and effect. It wasn't just, you know, oh, she didn't want to be with you. You know, my mama didn't love me. It's not that. You know, if a person was on cut, trust and believe, that's some serious shit. Excuse my language, but that's serious. Anything that makes you leave your kid, that's some serious stuff. So just know that it wasn't her. It was something that happened to her. You understand? So I just need people to pick it up, read it, and share it. And, you know, I need the story to be told. That's it.
Indeed. That's what's up. Hey, you heard it first right here, 24-Hour Network Radio. E-Fees. You know what I mean? Tune in.